So we have been discussing about chapter number 4. We discussed about Mali's sudden decision to go to America. Now you know the story. Up to now you have some kind of considerable understanding about the story. So what happened now? Mali is trying to go to America because he thinks that it is better to go to America and learn about the art of story writing. But Jagan is not that much happy about this decision because Jagan thought that his son will be a writer or else an author. So when Mali said that I am going to stop my education, I don't want to continue my education, Jagan was totally upset. Then Jagan was happy again because when Mali said that he wanted to become an author. So Jagan thought that, okay, by being an author, he can provide a lot, or else he can provide a lot of service to the mankind. His message will be spread all around the world. If he writes in English medium, everybody will know about him likewise. So Jagan had some kind of happiness about the decision taken by Mali, even though he did not like that previously. But now what we can realize is that Jagan is again in a sad mood because Jagan never thought that Mali will go to America. And the most important thing that we can understand in chapter number 4 that we discussed up to now is that when we refer to Jagan's character, Jagan is an orthodox Hindu follower. So he always believed in traditionalism, or else he always believed all the Hindu culture and Hindu tradition. Being a disciple of Mahatma Gandhi, he always continued his life according to the traditional methods that Mahatma Gandhi taught him. So as a result of that, Jagan did not like Mali to go to America. Jagan is really happy that Mali can go to any other country, but particularly Jagan is not happy about taking that kind of decision because Jagan knew that if Mali entered to America, what will happen? Definitely Mali will follow all the American traditions or else these Western cultures. As a result of that, his son will be totally different. So as he doubted, same thing happened to Mali. Mali liked the Western culture a lot more than the traditional culture. So as a result of that, he became a Westernized person. This clearly shows us the adaptation of cultures, one of the major themes in the novel, right? So Mali adapted quite clearly as Jagan suggested, as Jagan thought. So in this particular chapter, we discussed about unconditional love, which can be identified as one of the major themes when it comes to R.K. Narayan's Vendor of Sweets. So we all know that this is actually a combination of two characters. What are the two characters? We have Jagan, we have Mali. And I have explained to you in chapter number 3, one of the most important incidents occur in chapter number 3, that is actually the Ambika's death, right? Ambika died from a brain tumor. The reason is actually Jagan did not pay enough attention to Ambika's health. When Ambika always asked for Western medicine, Jagan did not allow to give that, saying that there will be a lot of other problems when you take all these Western medicine, right? So different types of ill effects will be there. So as a result of that, since Ambika did not get proper medicine, Ambika died. So Mali is under the impression that, okay, my mother died because of my father's traditional influence. My father did not allow her to take medicine. As a result of that, my mother died. So that mentality was there in Mali. So this can be identified as an invisible barrier. R.K. Narayan actually introduced the word invisible barrier between son and father, right? So from chapter number 1 to chapter number 13, we can see number of problems between father and son because of this invisible barrier. Whatever said and done, we cannot underestimate Jagan's unconditional love towards Mali. Now, this part you have to understand, right? So parents are like that. Typically, if you take almost all the Asian parents are like that. Even after the marriage, Asian parents are coming behind or else running behind their daughters and sons in order to check whether they are okay. This is the typical behavior of most of the parents, not only in India, but also in Sri Lanka, most of the Asian region, even your mother and father, even my mother and father is also the same. So this kind of behavior can be clearly identified when it comes to Jagan's character. If you refer to Jagan's character, we can clearly understand he shows some kind of unconditional love, a love which is not going to condition by anything towards Mali. So when he got to know that Mali is going out of the country, he was totally upset because he was the only one that he had in his life. He lost his wife. At the same time, he lost all his relations, right? His elder brother, his younger sister, they are not having any conversation with him due to a property problem. due to some kind of problem regarding the property of the property, that Jagan's father actually did not divide property equally. As a result of that, Jagan's elder brother and Jagan's younger sister, they are not having any communication with him. So Jagan is kind of an isolated character. We should not forget that, right? So when a person is isolated, definitely he or she needs some kind of assistance from the society. So even though Mali did not talk to him, Jagan really liked the fact that Mali stayed in the same house, but they stayed more than 20 years together in the same house. Jagan did know very little about this character, about his son. That is because of the communication gap, because Mali did not like to continue communication with Jagannath. Again, we are going to the invisible barrier. We discussed about this part. So Jagan tries to stop Mali. So he didn't have enough guts to say that. He was not having that confidence. So he is telling that to Kasim, one of his best friends. He explains that make sure to go and tell him not to go there. I will provide all the each and everything that he needed in his life. So this can be again identified as one of the best examples when it comes to the unconditional love, the concept of unconditional love. So this is the last part that we wrote last week, if you can remember. As my good cousin, please try and stop him. I don't know how can I live in that house without him. The very thought depresses me. So from this line, we can clearly understand what kind of love that he possessed towards his son. But if you refer to Mali's character, Mali did not show that much of love, that much of connection, that much of bond towards Jagannath. So when we refer to Mali's character, this can be identified as one of the most famous negative characteristics depicted from Mali's character. As a son, Mali never forgives his father. Mali never forgives his father. As a result of that, we can clearly understand some negative characteristics, right? So Mali is trying to humiliate his father's profession. Mali is always neglecting his father. Mali is ill-treating his father. So R.K. Narayan is using a very beautiful simile, right? In the novel, if you read the novel, you will find that whenever Jagan wants to have some conversation with Mali, R.K. Narayan compared that situation. A young journalist is going to have an interview with a popular celebrity. So here the popular celebrity is Mali, and the young journalist, inexperienced journalist, will be Jagannath. By using that simile, you can identify what kind of communication gap that they had. That simile is very much important, where if you are a young journalist, if you are not that much experienced, you will have some kind of shock or else some kind of nervousness in order to talk with a popular celebrity. So Mali is given that position. Mali is like a popular celebrity. Jagan was like a journalist, inexperienced journalist. So a lot of communication problems actually occurred between them. But whatever said and done by Mali, Jagan did not show the same attention or same level of respect towards Mali. Jagan always loved his son, and he did a lot of sacrifices in his life for the betterment of his son. He never had a second marriage. He never engaged in any other negative activities in his life. He completely sacrificed his entire life and business for the betterment of Mali. Actually, he wanted to earn a lot of money in order to provide proper education to Mali. But unfortunately, Mali did not want to achieve that goal, right? So Jagan also did not achieve that goal when he was a young boy. So he always needed his son to achieve that goal. But unfortunately, just like Jagannath, even Mali said that I don't want to study. So you can clearly understand this is generation gap. Generation gap can be identified as one of the major themes when it comes to the novel. So please make sure to pay your attention for the generation gap. It can be identified as one of the major themes. So this red color quotation is very much important to you. Please make sure. If you have any questions, you can always ask, right? So we will read this. I think we have completed this part last week. So we have to start from there. I will read this. So if you did not write this part, make sure to write down, or else you may have received the recording as well. Later that night, Jagan found out that Mali has taken his money, which he hid inside his house in order to make his passport and other documents. So Mali did not possess a lot of wealth. So what he did, whatever the money that Jagan saved without paying income tax, actually, that money can be taken as black money because he did not pay the income tax. According to him, Mahatma Gandhi has said nothing about income tax. So as a result of that, he is not going to pay income tax. So here and there, we can see some weaknesses in Jagan's character. Those weaknesses are very important, my dear students. Try to understand, when we are writing a poem or else a short story or else a novel, we should not include perfect characters in our short story or else in our novel. Perfect characters refers to that person is 100% perfect, where that particular person does not have any weaknesses. No, human beings are not like that. We have weaknesses, we have positive factors, we have negative factors, both together. Now, if you take Jagan's character, even though Jagan followed Mahatma Gandhi's attitude and culture, he never pays income tax, right? He never gives sweets free of charge to beggars or small children, right? So he always hides his money, which came to the shop after 6 o'clock, right? So he called them as free cash. Likewise, we can understand, when we go through the Jagan's character, there are certain characteristics that we can identify. We can say them, basically they are the weaknesses that we can possess, right? That we can see when it comes to Jagan's character. So however, this money is actually taken from his shop without paying that income tax. He kept that money with him. So Mali knew that where his father hid all the money. So Mali took all that money from there. And Jagan was having mixed emotions here, because at one point Jagan was totally upset. He should not steal. At the end of the day, all this property, all the money I have saved for the betterment of him. So he should not steal. He should have told me. He should have told me. If he told me, I would have definitely given that money for him, right? But he did not tell me. On the other hand, Jagan was really happy. Now my son has become an adult. He can do his work by himself. So as a father, he was really happy by the decision taken by Mali, right? This is what we call the mixed emotions, or else we call bittersweet occasion. Now we will move on to the explanation, right? If you have any questions, my dear students, without having any doubts, please make sure to ask, right? Okay, Mali has taken 10,000 rupees from that. As a father, Jagan never asked about this from his son. This is the problem of wrong parenting that we discussed throughout the novel. Jagan felt that it is okay to take money like that, because at the end of the day, all the money and property belong to Mali, but that is stealing. So here, Jagan did not correct the mistake. Now try to understand, as a father, Jagan did not try to correct the mistake, because this is stealing. If you steal your father's money, you may say that, sir, he is my father, but you can't do like that, right? That comes under the category of stealing, because you did not earn that money. So Mali is doing the same thing. So as a father, definitely the father should give some kind of punishment. Then only the particular child will learn some lesson. But in this particular situation, my dear students, Jagan did not punish his son. As a result of that, what happened? At the end of the novel, you can realize that Mali became a drunkard. Mali became a negative character. So we can clearly understand, not only Ambika's death, even Mali's negative life, Jagan is responsible. Jagan is responsible. So R.K. Narayan tries to explain the fact that because of this orthodox behavior, because of this traditional behavior, a huge disaster actually occurred in Jagan's life. Now, Jagan lost his wife because of his orthodox Hindu traditional beliefs. On the other hand, he is not ready to save his son, right? He is not ready to save his son. As a father, there are certain good qualities that we can refer to when it comes to Jagan's character. But the most important thing that you have to remember, he did not correct his son. This is the most important part. When he knew that his son has taken money, he didn't do anything at all. He became happy about that, right? But we have to understand, stealing is something that we have to avoid, right? But as a father, he did not do any punishment. This is the part that you have to understand, right? Shrewd business attitudes. Yeah, exactly. Yes, right? So we will move on from there. Yahansa, I hope that you can see the screen. Yahansa, do you have any problem with the screen? Can you see the screen properly, Puta? I hope that you guys can see the screen because of this coverage problem. If you have any problem like that, please make sure to tell me, right? So we will move on from there, right? We discussed about this part. So I am giving you a summary and I am explaining you the facts, right? So we will move from there. Mali tries to threaten his father, asking for money for his business. Now later what happened? It grew to a certain level that later Mali actually threatens his father. Now the connection between son and father, especially when it comes to Mali's attitude. Now, Jagan showed real love, genuine love towards his son. There is no doubt about that. But if you refer to Mali's character, Mali never showed genuine love, right? Mali always needed his father for the sake of money. Mali thought that Jagan is the ATM machine in his life. So whenever he needed money, he asked for the support of his father. Without informing his father, he took the maximum advantage of his father's reputation. This kind of behavior cannot be acceptable. Remember, these characteristics you have to remember, right? Mali did not have any relationship with his father. He never forgives his father. At the same time, he took the maximum advantage from his father's reputation. At the same time, he took the maximum advantage from his father's money, because he always thought that I can emotionally blackmail my father and I can ask for money. So in this novel, Mali is going to start a new business called Mali Enterprises. In that situation, he is trying to emotionally blackmail his father, ask him for 200,000 rupees. But Jagan was not ready to give that. When Jagan was not ready to give that, he threatens his father. So can you understand the small mistake done by Jagan at the very beginning of chapter number 4 ends with a disaster. Can you understand? So Jagan did not correct that mistake at the very beginning. So as a result of that, it became a huge disaster. Mali became a corrupted child. As a result of that, Mali became a corrupted child. This is what happened. So you can clearly understand the idea behind here, right? So this is something very much natural. If you that is why this novel is universal. If you refer to this in Sri Lankan context, same thing will happen, right? Most of the children, when they have rich parents, they think that their parents are responsible and their parents are bound to give everything for them, right? So they don't try to earn something by themselves. So as a result of that, at the end of the day, they become disastrous characters. So this is what you have to understand, right? Very simple, right? So we will move on from there. At that time, Jagan becomes helpless. Wrong parenting is a very important topic that we discuss in the novel. Jagan was worried that Mali stole his money. If he asked for money, Jagan would have happily given that, right? So Mali did not ask money. So as a result of that, Jagan was really upset. But at the same time, he was happy because Mali was able to do things by himself. So that became happy news for him. So we are going to start from there. Last week we discussed that part. Today we are going to continue from here. I hope that you guys can see the screen while my explanation is going on. You guys can write down. I have to inform for the new students, newcomers who participate for the class today. Make sure to write down. I am not going to give you extra time to write down. Make sure to listen to my explanation and write down. Right now, the screen is very much visible to you, so you can write down. Still, we are in chapter number 4. This is a summary given by the teacher. So we are going to explain about the novel separately. Up to now, we have done, I think, 5 chapters. So we are writing the summary, or else we call the teacher's explanation. So in this teacher's explanation, the teacher will include all the important quotations and all the important incidents will bring to you as a nutshell. So anybody can understand what happens in the novel. Make sure to read the novel chapter wise. Then you will understand this novel much more better. Right, so we will move on. But unfortunately, Mali did not do like that, right? Mali did not ask money from his father. He stole money from his father. Money plays an important role throughout the novel. So make sure to understand the concept of money. If you take any short story, if you take any novel, most of the novels in 21st century, you can clearly understand money plays an important role. The reason is that we are living in a money-centered society. We do everything for the sake of money. I teach, you learn, you go to school, I work somewhere for the sake of money, right? Because in this society, no one can live apart from money. No one can survive without money, right? This is what you have to understand. But unfortunately, Mali did not do like that. Money plays an important role throughout the novel. Jagan is running his business in a shrewd manner. Shrewd manner refers to in a deceptive manner, right? Shrewd refers to deceptive manner. He is running his business in a deceptive manner, right? Because he wants to earn a lot of money. So you may say that Jagan is a money lover, but make sure to remember, according to his explanation, he says, I wanted to save a lot of money for the betterment of my child. I want to give him proper education. That is why I am earning this amount of money. That is the major reason. Jagan is running his business in a shrewd manner because he wants to earn a lot of money. Even though he does not show that as readers, we can realize that from his actions. The only connection between father and son inside the house is money, right? As I told you, father and son, Jagan and Mali, they did not have very good communication, right? Or everything was based on money, right? So The 5 rupee note which Jagan kept on the table for Mali every day, each and every day actually, Jagan kept a 5 rupee note on the table for Mali. That is to eat something from the canteen. So in order to take that only, Mali went to meet Jagan, right? Mali went to meet Jagan. Mali went to meet his father in order to take that 5 rupee note, right? So he never wanted to see his father. That was the difference, right? The 5 rupee note which Jagan kept on the table for Mali, Mali stole his father's money in order to make arrangements for his journey. Again, that relationship is also based on money. Mali comes from America with a half Korean, half American girl called Grace. Later, we get to know that they are not married, they are living together. So we are going to discuss about this part as well. Grace's arrival is something very much important that we have to pay our attention. Her character is very much important to us. We will learn about her as well. Later, we get to know that they are not married, they are living together. Grace explains Jagan that Mali has promised to marry her and took her money, but he did not do as he was promised. Right. The connection between Mali and Grace is also based on money. When Mali went to America, he met a girl called Grace. So she gave money to Mali in order to survive in America. So Mali promised that, okay, since you gave money, I will definitely marry you. We can go to India and we can live together. But soon after he came to India, he did not have any intention to marry Grace. So when Jagan met Grace, Grace openly said that. So you can clearly understand each and every character is connected with money, right? So we have a lot of characters in Vendor of Sweets by R.K. Narayan. Each and every character is connected with money. So money-centered society is something that we cannot escape. So when we refer to R.K. Narayan's Vendor of Sweets, each and every character is bound by money. It is like a cobweb, right? It is like a cobweb. So all the characters are actually bound together. That is because of money, right? So problems became worse when Mali asked for more money from Jagan in order to initiate his business, Mali Enterprises, right? So soon after Mali came from America, he wanted to start his own business, which is known as Mali Enterprises. He asked to buy the subscription. He wanted to have 200,000 in order to buy the subscription, but Jagan clearly said that he did not possess that amount of money, so he can't do that. That was the idea, right? So if you have finished, we can move on to the next part. Make sure to write down and make sure to understand, right? So there are a lot of themes. Now, when we take literature, my dear students, you have to understand a literature piece. It can be a novel, it can be a short story. So they are social sciences. Now, literature can be identified as a social science, right? So it is not a physical science. This is not like chemistry, biology, physics. So this subject is not like that. This is a social science. So we are dealing with the society. Almost all the actions, almost all the conflicts which occur in the society, we take them and we analyze them. In literature, that is what we do, right? We are complicated human beings. First and foremost, we have to identify that. That is the basement of literature, where human beings are complicated. And then we are going to analyze these characters, right? So they are very much universal. In our day-to-day life, we meet this type of characters, right? So that is why most of the literature pieces are very much universal. You can apply this not only for Sri Lanka, but also any other place, right? So these kind of conflicts are very much similar, very much common when it comes to our day-to-day life, right? So if you have any problems, please make sure to ask. Yeah, Jagan can be identified as a money-centered character, but what I try to explain you is that he's kind of an orphan, right? He didn't have anyone to give that money. He didn't have a second marriage. So according to your opinion, Sayyid, why did he earn that amount of money? Because Puta, the reason is that he openly says, I wanted to save money for the betterment of my son. For the betterment of my son refers to Mali cannot take that money and do whatever the things that he liked to do in his life, right? So Mali cannot do like that. So Jagan actually saved money in order to give some kind of proper basement to Mali when it comes to education. Because Jagan lost his education when he was a young boy. He participated in the Satyagrahi movement and later he married. So he had a lot of affection towards Ambika. Because of that affection, because of that love, he lost his education. He could not concentrate towards his exams. So he failed 3 times. And then his father said, Jagan's father said that you should not continue this education because you cannot do like that. You can't concentrate, right? So now we can realize, with that idea, we can clearly realize, right, what happens here. They are as a father, Jagan is trying his level best to provide proper education to his son. This is what happens. Sayyid, I hope that you can understand. Okay. Right. So if you have any questions, you can ask. Right. So this is what happens in our day-to-day life, whether we like it or not, right? So make sure to apply literature to your own life, right? Make sure to apply literature to your own life, because this is a social science. This is not physics. This is not chemistry, right? So you have to express your own feelings. When you are writing answers, take some concepts from the teacher, take your concepts from internet or from any other source, but make sure to write authentic answers. Your answer should be authentic to you. Your words, your expressions, your vocabulary should be authentic, right? You should not copy someone's work, right? From that perspective, you can't learn literature. Now, these things are very much important. Now, when I say the word vendor of sweets, all the themes should come into your mind, because almost all the questions will be based on themes. So each and everything should come to your mind, right? Okay, generation gap, traditional culture and modern culture, they have some kind of conflict. Money plays an important role, right? Grace's character, Jagan's character, Mali's character, Kasim's character. Basically, we have 4 characters who are very much important to us throughout the plot. There are other sub characters as well, right? We have Chinnadure, we have Nataraj, we have other characters as well. So make sure to read the novel several times. When you read the novel, you will understand the situation, because language is very simple. If you take Bringing Tony Home, if you take Prince and the Pauper, the language will be a little bit difficult to understand. But here, vendor of sweets, most of the schools, they selected vendor of sweets because it is very easy to identify, right? The understanding purpose is very much easier when you compare with the other novels, right? So did you write this part? I am moving to the next part. I hope that you guys have completed. Right, we are still in chapter number 4, right? Right, we have a question. That is a very good question, Puta, Dilakshi, because he didn't have that amount of money. Yeah, he openly says to Kazim, and he openly says to his son that he never possessed 200,000. He never possessed 200,000. That is number one. According to him, I don't know. He openly says that he didn't have that amount of money. Number 2, Puta, when we refer to Jagan's character, we can understand all the actions done by Mali. All the actions done by Mali always created some kind of confusion, some kind of disagreement, some kind of disgusting attitude towards Mali, right? So Jagan was not happy with the behavior of Mali. Even if your parents are not happy with your behavior, I am pretty sure that they are not going to write their property for you. If you are a girl, after getting good education, if you elope with your boyfriend without informing your parents, if you bring a boy to your house without informing your parents, and said to your father that, father, Nimal, my father, we married, right? So do you think that your father will allow him to stay in the house? Same thing happens here. There are a number of situations where Mali did number of things, number of attitudes, or else number of actions done by Mali where Jagan did not enjoy that as a father. You can't do like that. Number 1, Mali started to eat beef. That created a huge problem in Jagan's mind. Number 2, Mali came with a half Korean, half American girl called Grace and stated that he has married that girl. So Mali is the one and only son. So definitely you have to inform your father. Okay, if you are not going to inform your father, you should not come to India and ask father's accommodation, right? So Jagan actually gave a chance. He made actually a attached bathroom as well for the couple, right? Jagan gave the entire house for the couple. Jagan was under the impression that they are married. But later, Jagan got to know that they are not married, they are living together. They are having sexual intercourse inside the house without informing his father, without informing anyone, because Jagan was under the impression that they are married. So you cannot live like that. Living together concept was not enjoyed by the Indian society. So Jagan felt that his house is a what you call a very venerated place, and Mali has destroyed that. Mali completely destroyed that purity of that house. Can you understand? So that is why Jagan did not allow, right? That is why, according to my opinion, I think like that. Almost all the actions done by Mali, they did not please Jagan as a father. They did not please Jagan as a father. So in that type of situation, Puta, obviously Jagan will take that type of a decision, right? There is no doubt about that. Even though he had money, he will never give, right? Yeah, yes, the hair blackner, yes, exactly, right? So we will move on to the next part. Chinnadurai meets Jagan in his shop, thinking that Jagan has enough money. No, this is, we don't meet Chinnadurai. We are still under the category of money. We are still discussing about the theme of money. Chinnadurai meets Jagan in his shop, thinking that Jagan has enough money to buy the land where they plan to make statues. The connection between Kasin and Jagan is also based on money. Kasin expected a certain payment from Jagan for all the small meetings which he had with Mali. Mali becomes a drunkard because he did not have enough money to initiate his business. Jagan finally understands that there is no point of earning and saving money for his son because Mali is not following Jagan's dream. He starts to give sweetmeats for a relative low price than the other businessmen. Jagan understood that money is not the only thing that makes him happy. But later he realized that everything is based on money. But before he realized like that, but later he realized, no, money is not everything. That is why he gives up his shop and house. Jagan provides money for Grace's air ticket as well. Money plays an important role in the story. So can you understand? Each and every character is based on money, right? So money cannot be underestimated as a theme, right? If you refer to almost all the places, right? Chinnadurai meets Jagan in his shop, thinking that Jagan has enough money, so connected with money, to buy the land where they plan to make statues. The connection between Kasin and Jagan is also based on money. Kasin expected a certain payment from Jagan for all the small meetings which he had with Mali. Mali becomes a drunkard because he did not have enough money, right? Again, the problem of money to initiate his business. Jagan finally understands that there is no point of earning and saving money for his son because Mali is not following Jagan's dream. He starts to give sweetmeats for a relatively low price than other businessmen. Jagan understands that money is not the concept of money. We are discussing about the concept of money. Jagan understands that money is not the only thing that makes him happy. That is why he gives up his shop and house. Jagan provides money, finally, right? Finally, Jagan provides money for Grace's air ticket as well. Money plays an important role in the novel. So you can clearly understand money plays a very important role, a very much important role. Not that, Puta, not giving money is not like that. It is something like this. If you are a drug addict, just imagine like that in that perspective. If you are taking alcohol or heroin, right? If I am your father, even though I love you, I am not ready to give money. Even though I have unconditional love, I am not ready to do that because I know that you are going to destroy your life. So same thing happened here. Throughout the novel, Mali is not doing any action in his life in order to please his father. We know that people do mistakes. Jagan did not take a knife and stabbed Ambika. Jagan did not do like that. Jagan never had any intention to kill Ambika. Don't misunderstand. Jagan did not take a knife and stabbed Ambika, right? Jagan never had any intention to kill Ambika. Because of his foolish behavior, something like that happened. And at the same time, sometimes even Ambika had taken all these Western medicine. There can be a probability that Ambika may have died. We don't know. Anything can happen, right? So they are under the wrong impression. That is the problem. Try to understand the fact. Try to understand the fact here. Unconditional love. Jagan was a foolish father because he thought that providing luxury, providing money, providing all the comforts, he thought that providing everything is unconditional love. He never understood that we have to guide the child. We have to provide some kind of advisors to the properly to the child. That kind of idea did not take place in his mind. He thought that okay, providing all the luxuries can be identified as unconditional love. So Mali took the maximum advantage from that, right? Mali took the maximum advantage of that. This is what happened. Try to understand here. So Jagan did not give money. There can be two perspectives. Number one, Jagan openly says that I don't have that amount of money. So we can't check, obviously, right? මම දන්නේ නැහැ ජගන් ගාව සල්ලි තිබ්බද නැද්ද කියලා. ජගන් එක කියනවා නව කතාව එක තැනකදී මං ගාව එච්චර සල්ලි නැහැ. I don't have that amount of money to give. That is number one. If you are not going to agree with that, you can agree with the second point, where if I am the father, if my son is not falling into the proper pattern of life, why should I support him? I will not. Why should I support him? Because after coming from America with a half Korean, half American girl, right? Jagan also accepted that, and Jagan gave his entire house for the betterment of them, and Jagan was ready to give his own shop. Jagan was ready to give his own shop, right? Then Jagan openly said that, Puta, if you want to continue by business, you can take my business and you can do that, right? If you want to become a businessman, you can take my business. He was ready to offer his business as well, right? Now, what else we can ask? What else we can ask from that father, right? So you can clearly understand in that type of situation, Puta, if I were Jagan, I will never help. I would never help. I will never give that kind of support. Why should I? Right? So because there is some kind of limitation, Puta, in his life. Don't expect too much from your parents. There is a limitation, no, Puta. Even parents can, there is unconditional love, right? But unconditional love does not mean that your mother should take a knife and stab her heart and give that heart to you. You can expect that kind of unconditional love, right? That is brutality. That is what we call brutality. They can't cut their hand and give to you, right? They can't cut their hand and give it to you. Okay, this is unconditional love. I can cut my hand and give. You can't even ask that. Even if they can do that, you should not ask that. So Mali is asking something like that, right? So Jagan openly said that I don't have money. And I know that what kind of path that you are going to follow. Jagan was totally upset when he got to know that they are not married, they are living together. After knowing that also, Jagan wanted to provide a secret marriage. But Mali did not like that. As a father, he supported a lot. Can't you understand that? As a father, he supported a hell of a lot. But when Mali is not ready to convert, Mali is not ready to accept his faults, Jagan thought that prison is the best place. Prison is the best place that he can correct his mistakes. Try to understand that. Right? Unconditional love does not refers to you can always ask for the pound of flesh. Right? Okay, my parents have unconditional love. I can buy Apple iPhone 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever. You cannot ask like that. Unconditional love means they possess some kind of love towards you. But it doesn't mean that you can take negative advantage. Throughout the novel, Mali is trying to take negative advantage. If you are taking that unconditional love, if you are taking your mother's property, father's property, at least you have some responsibility to take care of them when they become old. Can't you understand that? So likewise, there is some kind of bond, right? But Mali did not understand that. This is what I can explain. So everything is based on money. That is the idea that I wanted to explain. I hope that you guys can understand that. If you have any questions, you can ask. If you have any problems related to this, you can ask. Right? Did you finish this part? Shall we move on to the next part? Please pass me a message. Right. Please make sure to write down. Writing is something very much important. So we discussed about the concept of money, right? So this does not appear in chapter number 4, but I took this in chapter number 4 because I thought that it would be much more better to discuss about this in chapter number 4. You will get a very good understanding when it comes to this. Okay, this is what happened, right? So concept of money is something very much important. The relationship between father and son, communication gap, generation gap, the conflict between traditional and modern culture, the idea of marriage, right? The living together concept and marriage. In chapter number 12 and chapter number 13, we discuss about the traditional marriage system. And when we come to Mali and Ambika, we can clearly understand the living together concept. Sometimes there can be a question to compare and contrast Ambika and Jagan, Mali and Grace. There can be a question for your ordinary level examination. Compare and contrast, right? Mali and Ambika, Mali and Grace, Ambika and Jagan. Sometimes there can be a comparison. Make sure to ready. Right, okay. So I hope that you guys have completed. So we will move on to the next part. I hope that you guys have completed that part. So now we are coming to chapter number 5. Right, now we are coming to chapter number 5. So chapter number 4 ends from there, where without taking his father's advice, without thinking about other people, Mali leaves to America, right? Mali leaves to America. So he takes a decision. According to his decision, he thinks that it is much more better to go to America rather than staying in India. So Mali's character must not be taken as only just mere character. Make sure to understand that Mali represents the entire youth, entire young generation who lived in India at that time period. Jagan's character should not be taken individually. Okay, Jagan is only one character. Jagan's character clearly represents, clearly endorses the people who lived in that society at that time period, right? Pre-independent period of India and the post-independent period of India. So don't try to analyze these characters individually. This is not going to happen. So they are representing a big picture. Most of the young boys and girls, after India got independence, they were really not happy about the cultural and political changes which occurred in India. They always wanted to move on with the globalization. But unfortunately, because of some disciplinary problems or else some disciplinary principles laid down by Mahatma Gandhi, they did not have that freedom. So that is why at the end of the day, Mahatma Gandhi was shot, right? Mahatma Gandhi was shot dead, even though he has done a huge, contribution to Indian culture and Indian tradition, right? Make sure to understand they killed Mahatma Gandhi at the end of the day. He did not die. He did not die as a peaceful man. At the same time, if you can, if you want to search this, you can search on the internet. Mahatma Gandhi's two sons died in front of a hospital as orphans. Later, only after their dead bodies were found as beggars, right? As beggars, they died. Their dead bodies were found. Inside their dead bodies, they had the identity card. When they checked the identity card, they got to know that, okay, this person is actually the son of Mahatma Gandhi. So which clearly shows us that Mahatma Gandhi did not pay any attention towards even for his family, right? And there are a number of situations, if you read carefully through the internet, there are a number of allegations against him when it comes to child abuse, right? So there are certain things that history does not like to tell us. But if you like to search them, you can go and search them, right? If you read something like Arundhati Roy's videos and everything, she discusses about, now this is much more bigger than the syllabus, right? So she discusses Mahatma Gandhi did not do anything good for the people, right? She has a different view about Mahatma Gandhi's attitude, right? So we have here and there debates, right? We have here and there debates. So make sure to understand, if you go to internet and if you search Big Match 1983 by Yasmin Gunaratne, there are a number of research articles who write against Yasmin Gunaratne, If you read them, you will improve a lot, right? Now, we have only read the poem and we discussed what actually happened and her perspective. But different poets have written about their perspectives and they criticizes Yasmin Gunaratne's writing. You can go to internet and you can search, right? So there are a number of opportunities, right? There are a number of teachers. When it comes to online platforms, you can learn a hell of a lot, right? Not like our days. You have a lot of chances to learn. So chapter number 4 ends with Mali's arrival to America. And then we are going to start chapter number 5, right? So make sure to have the book with you. I think I have discussed chapter number 5 with you. Am I? Did I explain all the difficult words and everything? Can anyone pass me a message? Yes, thank you, Bhuta. Right, very good. So we discussed chapter number 5. And now we are going to write teacher's explanation, right? What are the important things that we have to pay our attention? And why these things are very much important to us, we will try to understand it, right? So after Mali's arrival to America, Jagan became so proud about it. Now we can see a different type of a Jagan, a different type of Jagan here, because a different version, we can say, because at first he did not like everything. Now, if you take Jagan's character, Jagan did not enjoy at first, but later he really loved that. Now, when Mali said that, okay, I'm going to stop my education, I'm not going to earn a degree. So Jagan was really upset. Then Mali said that, okay, I'm going to become a writer. I'm going to become an author. Each and every person in the world will know me and my message will be everywhere. So Jagan was really proud about that. Same thing happens here. When Mali said that I am moving to America, Jagan was not happy about that, but now Jagan is actually very much happy about the decision taken by Mali. He was really happy as a father, right, with the decision taken by Mali. Right. So we will move on from there. After Mali's arrival to America, Jagan became so proud about it. This again shows us how much he loved his son. Right now, as a father, the same typical behavior can be seen when it comes to Sri Lankan parents as well. Most of the Sri Lankan parents, right, when their child passed the scholarship exam, each and every day they like to boast about his son or daughter. I have seen that. When their son or daughter took 9 A's or else 3 A passes for advanced level or else ordinary level, they will always boast that, right? The Sri Lankan typical mentality. So not only for Sri Lanka, but also in other countries like in the Asian region. But if you look into European culture or else the Western culture, they don't have that attitude. So Jagan is also that type of a father. Now he is really happy. He is boasting and blowing his own trumpet in front of other people about the achievements achieved by this particular his son, right? So we will move on from there. Even though he did not like America first, later Jagan acted like a pure citizen of America by explaining about the places and states, right? So he got all the information from letters, right? These letters play an important role when it comes to the plot of the story. So we said that Jagan and Mali did not have any communication, right? Did not have any communication because of that invisible barrier. Make sure to remember these things. Some facts are very much important. Now what happened? Okay, Mali is sending some letters, right? So Jagan was really happy because that communication gap, the bridge was connected, right? The bridge that they had, or else the distance that they had connected together by using these blue color airmail. So Jagan was really happy. Jagan thought that, okay, my son, now my son is okay with me. I don't have any problem with him now. So he was really happy that he thought all these letters are sent by Mali. But later he realized that these letters are not sent by Mali. These letters are sent by Grace. So he was really upset. Can you understand? So each and every act done by Mali brings suffering, brings suffocation, brings pathos to Jagan. Can you understand? As a father, he never achieves or else he never entertains any happiness in his life because of his son. Each and every day suffering. That is why at the end of the day, he gives up everything, right? Each and every day the suffering continues, right? So, so he thought that, okay, the communication gap cannot be there now because my son is okay with me. He is sending me letters. But when he was living inside the house, he did not have any communication. But now Jagan was really happy because he thought that, okay, my son is giving some kind of letters, right? Yes, Yahansa, exactly, right? So, okay, my son is sending me letters. So he was really happy as a father, right? He was really happy as a father. Now we can understand that in chapter number 5. So even though he did not like America first, later Jagan acted like a pure citizen of America by explaining about the places and states. Following quotation will prove that. Gradually it became annoying for the people who are going on the road because Jagan stopped them by force and explained about America. Now what happened? When Jagan was walking on the road, other people are also walking, then Jagan stopped them. Jagan stopped them and Jagan said that, hey, come here, come here, come here. My son is in America. Do you want to know something about America? I can tell you, right? So he was happy, right? So each and every person, he stopped them. He stopped them and he explained them, right? Okay, my son is in America. So it became some kind of a problem to other people. So for the first few days, they listened to Jagannath. And after that, when they saw Jagan, they ran away. When they saw Jagan, they ran away because the reason is that they knew each and every day Jagan will say the same thing. So they did not like to listen to him, right? So they ran away. This is what happened, right? So you can clearly understand Jagan's unconditional love. This quotation again shows us Jagan's unconditional love. As a father, he was really proud about the achievement achieved by his son as a father, right? So his son is not that much happy about that. But as a father, he was really happy. Typical behavior of most of the Sri Lankan parents. They are also like that, right? When you take 9 A's, your father will go out of the house proudly saying that my son has got 9 A's, my daughter has got 9 A's. But it is very much silly actually, right? So very silly behavior, but parents are like that. They get some kind of happiness from that, right? So But later it became a nuisance. It became a problem to other people, right? Try to understand. They did not like this, right? Because it becomes a nuisance, right? Whenever you met someone, my son is in America. Hello, 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 my son is in America. So it's a problem for them. So they ran away, right? They did not like him, right? So people used to run away from him when they saw him. He did not give up. He gave money to a beggar and asked him to listen to his stories. This shows us how he wanted to fly with the proud of his son. This is how, actually, there should be is. This is how he wanted to fly with the proud of his son, right? With the pride of his son. He really enjoyed his son's decision and intelligence. So this quotation is important, my dear students. My son is in America, he said to dozen persons every day. Puffing with pride in each occasion, it delayed his daily routine, right? So he was really happy as a father. He said that each and every day to people, saying that my son is in America. This is how he wanted to fly with the pride, right? With the pride of his son. He really enjoyed his son's decision and intelligence. My son is in America, he said to a dozen persons every day, puffing with pride in each occasion, it delayed his daily routine. So this quotation can be identified as one of the major quotations which clearly shows us unconditional love, right? Yeah, exactly, Suvani, very good. Bhagavad Gita is replaced by blue color air males. That is the quotation, very good. If you can remember these quotations, you will learn a lot. Quotations are very much important. You can learn a lot by referring to quotations, right? Make sure to pay your attention to the quotations. Through quotations, you can learn a hell of a lot. Right. If you have any questions, please make sure to ask. Right. So if you have any questions, you can ask, right? So this again shows Jagan's happiness, how he enjoyed, right? How he enjoyed success achieved by his son, right? So that is important. Right. So if you have finished, please pass me a message. We will move on to the next part. So today we started chapter number 5 and we finished chapter number 4. Other students, if you can't understand, please send me a message. So I am explaining you the entire story in the most simplest manner. And the quotations, make sure to write down the quotations in a different color, right? Please make sure to use a different color. Right. Yeah, exactly, Buddha. It is very much important. If you take the novel, if you don't buy hard the quotations, you can't write the novel. You give up literature as a subject, Buddha, you can't do. A lot of students, they ask the question, make sure to remember in literature, if you did not provide the proper quotations, no marks will be allocated, which means out of 15, you will get somewhere around 6 or 7. quotations are a must, right? So that is why we have given quotations. That is the basic idea of literature, right? Each and every quotation in this particular novel, you need to study each and every quotation. No hard and fast rule, because we have only one novel, and you are going to write from that novel. Now, when it comes to short stories, you can say, so I am going to do Lahore Attack, so I am not going to pay attention to the other short stories. Agreed. If you go to poetry, you will say, so I am only going to write from nature, so I will study only poems related to the theme of nature. Agreed, right? So when it comes to the bear, you can say, so I am not going to do bear, I am going to do Twilight of a Crane, so I will not study the quotations from Twilight of a Crane. Agreed. Novel, I can't agree. Even if you select another novel, you have to study both, because novel is compulsory. And I'm pretty sure that you can't do another novel with this one, right? It's really complicated. Even in your school, it will be a problem, right? You will be jumbled. Here you have another novel, and the school you have another novel, so it will be a problem. When it comes to the novel, you don't have any options. And remember, a lot of marks will be allocated for the novel, more than the short stories, more than the poetry, more than dramas, right? I think more than 20 to 25 marks will be allocated from the novel. It is a must. If you can't study quotations, give up literature. Now onwards, you can give up. Don't select literature. Right? Yeah, that is correct, Ravina. Good. Right? So now grade 10 students, I am telling you, grade 10. So if you are not ready to study or by heart quotations, literature is not the subject for you. සිංහලෙනුත් කියන්නම් 10 ශ්‍රේණියේ දරුවන් ඉංග්‍රීසි සාහිත්‍ය විෂයක් ලෙස තෝරාගෙන තිබෙනවාද ඔබට උද්දෘත කොටස් උද්දෘත පාඩ ඔබ දන්නවනේ ඔබ සිංහල ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕන විෂයක් විදියට නේද උද්දෘත පාඩ පාඩම් කිරීමේ හැකියාව නැත්නම් සමාජයට පේන්න ලිටරචර් තෝරගන්න එපා විෂයක් විදියට මම කරන්නේ සාහිත්‍ය කියලා සමාජයට පෙන්වන්න කරුණාකරලා විෂයෙන් අයින් වෙන්න හරිද ඒ කියන්නේ ඔබට ඒක ඉතාම හොඳයි මොකද මෙච්චර දුක් විඳින්න ඕනේ නැහැ වෙන විෂයක් කරලා ඔබට සමත් වෙන්න පුළුවන් कि ඔබට මේ විෂය සමත් වෙන්න ඕන නම් පුතා quotation පාඩම් කරන එක අනිවාර්යයි quotation පාඩම් කරන්න නිකන් කම්මැලි වගේ නම් පුතා ලිටරචර් කරන්න එපා ඔබ අනිවාර්යෙන් ෆේල් වෙනවා අත්දැකීමෙන් කියන්නේ දැන් අවුරුදු 7ක් 8ක් විතර වෙනවා උගන්වන්න අරගෙන ඉතින් ෆේල් තමයි quotation පාඩම් කරන්න බෑ කියන්නේ how you are going to prove okay Jagan is a money minded person who says like that how can you prove without a quotation how can you prove right so you have to give the quotation I am telling this because of this reason this is the quotation I have taken from the novel from the short story from the poem if you can't study the quotations literature is not the subject for you please try to understand give up right now grade 10 students have done a lot of poems with me and I think 2 short stories also we have completed so make sure to go through the quotations make sure to study them each and every day if you can without quotations there is no point of doing literature most of the answers that you write and you send that to me through PDF format I know that those quotations are taken from the book as a teacher I am not going to tell anything because it is your responsibility I can't tell you that පුතේ පාඩම් කරන්න මහන්සි වෙන්න කියලා මං කියන්න ඕනේ නෑනේ පුතා ඔබ බබෙක් නෙමෙයි. ඒතර ඔබ දැනගන්න ඕනේ කොටේෂන් එක ඔබ කටපාඩම් කරන් යන්න ඕනේ කියලා. කොටේෂන් එක එතනට ගියාම ලඝු ගණක පොත වගේ ළඟට දෙන්නේ නෑනේ පොත බලන් කොටේෂන් ලියන්න. ඒක ඔබේ වගකීම ඒක ඔබ කරගන්න ඕන දෙයක්. ඒක මට කියන්න බෑ. මොන විෂය කරත් if you are doing literature it can be Sinhala literature Tamil literature දැන් සිංහල සාහිත්‍ය කරනවා නම් මොකක්ද ඕගලන්ට තියෙන්නේ කවි තියෙනව නේද? මොනවාද තියෙනවනේ ගුත්තිල මූසිල ගුත්තිල වෙනනද? ගුත්තිල වෙනනද ඉතින් කවි ටික බැලුව පුතා ගුත්තිල මේම ගුලියක් උඩ දැම්මා අපි hina වුණා එහෙම බෑනේ පුතා. ඒවා විහිළු කතානේ. ලියන්න බෑ ඉතින් කවි ටික එපෙයි. කවි ටික නැතුව quotations නැතුව ලියන්න බෑ. මේ වගේ ගොබ්බ ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න එපා තේරුමක් නෑ පුතා. right? ඒ කියන්නේ ඒක ඒ ටික ඒක ඕනේ අනිවාර්යෙන් right අපි මම හිතන්නේ poems මම හිතන්නේ first term එකේ poems ඔක්කොම කරලා ඉවරයි we have done almost all the poems in the first term and we have completed the big match and we have completed we have to do only one video to do big match that will be given tomorrow I will send you the recording because yesterday we could not conduct the class because a lot of students they came with the argument that they can't participate for the class so I did not keep the class because of the extreme weather condition so I will provide you the recording of that. From tomorrow, we are going to finish big match. Then we are going to start Clown's Wife. We have done almost all the poems related to the first term. I have completed. Right. With the target questions, not only the poem, each and every time after the poem, I am doing 2 or 3 target questions. Now we have finished the poem, the big match. Not last week, before last week, we started target questions and we have to finish the target question and then we have to start the new poem. Right. So that is how it goes. So don't refer to that type of questions. So do we have to study quotations or something like that? That's really a stupid question, right? One of the most stupid questions that I have ever heard when it comes to literature. Without quotations, Puta, you can't do anything. That is why we are going to highlight them, because like that quotation you have to study. You have to show that no, Puta, right? So that is enough. Now you say that I passed my O-level exam. What is the proof? Your proof is your result sheet, right? Without that result sheet, you can't shout and say that I passed my O-levels. Where is the result sheet? Something like that. When you are writing answers without quotations, nobody will accept your answer. You can write like what you call R.K. Narayan's wife or R.K. Narayan's son, right? You know about R.K. Narayan more than R.K. Narayan's wife, but no point if you don't have quotations, right? If you don't have quotations, there is no point of writing. Give up the subject, because you can't do. If you are not ready to do that, Puta, I don't want to put you into trouble. Give up. Now onwards, you can give up, right? Study the quotations, and I personally know the answers that you send to me through PDF. I know that you have not studied the quotation. You are writing the quotations from the book. I am not going to tell you anything, because it is your responsibility. It is your responsibility. You have to have some mentality to study all these things from the book. I can't say that, right? If you like, you can continue, or else you can write from the textbook, right? But make sure to remember, no textbook will be given during the exam, right? So this quotation we discussed, my son is in America, he said to a dozen person every day, puffing with pride in each occasion, it delayed his daily routine. So actually, he was really happy to say each and every person. Can you see that Jagan's transformation here, right? Jagan's transformation. So Jagan gets some kind of happiness now. Later, we can see that it changed, right? Soon after, Mali came with a half Korean, half American girl. He could not face the people. So it is a complete contrast. Now, Jagan is really happy to talk with people about the achievement done by his son. All the other young boys and girls, they stayed in India. My son is in America, right? My son will become a great writer, right? He went to America. He was very proud about his son. The same behavior can be referred to as a negative phenomenon when we refer to the after the Mali's arrival. Mali comes with a half Korean, half American girl. Then Jagan was not able to go to his shop even. People came near to him and asked, Jagannath, your son has married to a half Korean, half American girl, but you are the greatest disciple of Mahatma Gandhi. Huh? What happened to Mahatma Gandhi's traditional attitude? Now what happened, right? Your son is married to a half Korean girl. Why can't he marry to an Indian girl, What happened to your Gandhian attitude? Jagan faced number of problems, right? So you can understand the behavior of human beings, right? Jagan was really happy when Mali went to America. Jagan was really happy. But after Mali's arrival, right, Jagan cannot face the society. Jagan could not face the society because of the actions done by Mali. Actually, Jagan's elder brother sends him a postcard saying that no one can expect, no son can expect a good father when it comes to a person like Jagan, right? You are not a good father. And Jagan's younger sister, says him that you have completely destroyed the reputation of our family, right? When you were young, at that time when you were young boy, you participated for Satyagrahi movement and you went to jail, right? So you completely destroyed our reputation. Now your son has married to a half Korean, half American girl. Again, our reputation was destroyed. This is the idea. Try to understand, right? This was the idea that he provided. So it is important. It is very much important to understand this. So this is what we call contrast, right? This is what we call contrast. So even we can't imagine what you call Jagan behaved like that, right? So at first he was really happy, and then he was really upset about the actions done by his son. So it is a clear contrast, right? So now we are coming to the next part of chapter number 5. When someone asked about his son, whether he had sent some letters or postcards, this is how he replied, right? So when someone asked about, okay, Jagannath, did your son send you some photographs or something like that, or else any letters? Oh no, he is prudent. Prudent means intelligent. No, my son is very intelligent. He is a prudent person. Prudent means intelligent, right? My son is very much intelligent, right? My son is very much intelligent, very much prudent, won't waste 10 rupees when 10 cents any idea how much a cent is worth in our money. He is not going to send letters like that. In order to send letters, it will cost him a lot. He is not going to send letters like that. He is sending me all. It's very rarely that he is sending me letters. I hope that the boy will have a room on the ground floor and not too high up, right? So this again shows us the unconditional love. Yeah, Jagan thinks that I hope that the boy will have a room on the ground floor, because when the boy is on the ground floor, nothing will happen to him. If the building collapses, what will happen? The boy will die, right? So according to Jagan's mindset, the boy will survive if the boy has a room on the ground floor, right? There is a probability of surviving. So this clearly shows us Jagan's unconditional love as a father, right? What kind of unconditional love that he possesses? Unconditional love. Unconditional love, right? I hope that the boy will have a room on the ground floor and not too high up, right? From the above quotations, we can realize how happy he was as a father about his son's success, at the same time, how much he cared about his son, right? He was really cared about his son. Gradually, this Orthodox Hindu follower forgot to read Bhagavad Gita as well. Now, can you remember in the first chapter, we discussed about the Bhagavad Gita, the holy book of Hindus. Jagan always read Bhagavad Gita, right? Bhagavad Gita was like his book of principles, right? He did each and everything according to the Bhagavad Gita. He gave advices even to the workers who worked in the shop, right? Using Bhagavad Gita, right? So now we can understand that Bhagavad Gita was replaced by the beautiful and colorful and thoughtful letters sent by Mali, right? So, but he was under the wrong impression that these letters are sent by Mali, but later we realized that these letters are not sent by Mali. They were sent by Grace, right? So he was always expecting a letter from his son. R.K. Narayan presented this incident to readers in a quite dramatic manner, where he seems to forget his devoted love towards religion because of his parental love. Now, Bhagavad Gita clearly shows us his love towards religion. But parental love is much more higher than that, according to R.K. Narayan. That is why he replaced the Bhagavad Gita. He did not read Bhagavad Gita. He read all the letters sent by his son. So this clearly shows us parental love. What kind of unconditional love? The Bhagavad Gita was replaced by blue color airmails. Very powerful quotation to show unconditional love. As a father, he forgot to read. For all these years, he read Bhagavad Gita, right? Each and every day he did that. He gave advices also to other people. Now, this Bhagavad Gita was replaced by blue color airmails. Now he says that, okay, I don't need that much of Bhagavad Gita now. He was expecting a letter from his son. So this clearly shows us symbolically, according to R.K. Narayan, how something very much sacred, right? Religion is something very sacred. But when it comes to parental love, even religion will also take the second place. Parental love will come first place, definitely. Can you understand? Parental love is given first place, and religion, the love for the religion, has taken the second place. So hurry up and write down the quotation and explanation. If you have any questions, please make sure to ask. What about the other students? I am telling you each and every day, make sure to finish it then and there. Otherwise, you will collect all the recordings and the recordings will be disabled after 1 week. So it will become a problem for you. Make sure to take this time period and write down the note, complete your notes at the end of the day when you get ready for the examination. These notes will help you to learn the lesson. Otherwise, you have to read the novel again and again and again. It will be a great problem because you have 8 subjects to cover. Literature is only one subject. There are other subjects to cover, right? Please follow that. Right. So today we discussed about chapter number 4 and we finished chapter number 4. And the chapter number 4 actually ended with the Mali's arrival to America. And chapter number 5 clearly states us what kind of happiness enjoyed by Jagannath. And as a father, Jagan's unconditional love. In chapter number 3, 4, 5, 6, we can clearly understand the sacrifices done by Jagan as a father in order to make his son happy. Right? Soon after, Mali comes with a half Korean, half American girl. At first, Jagan did not like Grace. At first, Jagan was really upset with Mali. But later, Jagan provided all the facilities, including an attached bathroom and everything. Right? Then later, Jagan really liked Grace because Grace actually adapted to the Indian culture. So Jagan really enjoyed that. So all these facts are very much important for us to understand about the parental love. Right. So we don't have to discuss another slide because we have a lot to write. So the recording that you missed yesterday will be given tomorrow. That will be the last part of Big Match 1983 by Yasmin Gunaratna. And we can complete that part. And then we will start your new lesson, Clown's Wife by Johnson Nagard. So we are actually following second term syllabus. And we have one short story for this term. That is Nightingale and the Rose by Oscar Wilde. We have already completed 2 short stories. That is The Lumber Room and Lahore Attack. Lahore Attack is not a short story. It is a paragraph. So we discussed that part as well. So all the poems will be discussed. Grade 10s, you have 2 classes per week. Make sure to participate for both classes. When it comes to this electricity breakdown, definitely a recording will be given. And in that type of situations, we can't help. And because of extreme weather conditions, sometimes class may be interrupted. Please make sure to participate for the classes and get the updates from our WhatsApp. All the WhatsApp messages will be given and all the recordings will be given accordingly related to the class fees and stuff. So thank you so much for joining. We will meet next week. Thank you so much.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, I can hear you, Buddha. You can talk.
Sir, previous notes වලට මේ ගන්න විදිහක්
Previous notes I will try to provide. I can't sure about that because normally we don't provide the notes and other stuff. Only that particular month recordings can be provided. I will ask from a student and I will let you know about that. I am not sure about that because like I have to ask from a student and then get the notes from him or her. That is the only way that I can help you. I will try my level best and I will let you know about that, or else I will give a contact number of a student and she or he will provide you all the notes, I guess.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you.